Okay, so I've explained to you what I'm doing today, and so what I'm using right now is, I had this in my garage. It's insulation. It's, you know, styrofoam, foam, it's hard, but I can use this. You can, if you're good at woodworking, you could probably use some, I want to say the word luan, but thin, you know, some of the thin wood. If you want it thicker, then you can do that. You can go to the dollar store and get some foam board, kind of thing, but you want something that can get wet and not cause you any problem. This can get wet and it doesn't soak the water rolls off, and I can make use of it. So what you want to do initially, so this right now is for square foot gardening. I have the book here somewhere, I'll get a picture of it, for square foot gardening. So the idea is, what can you grow in a square foot? This piece has been cut in 12-inch square. So 12 inches that way and 12 inches that way. Right? So that's 1 square foot. So I cut multiple square foots, multiple these. Right now, actually I cut 4. That's all I needed. So what did I do? Well, let's start with the bottom one. Okay. So in the bottom one, I created 4 squares, right? So at 6 inches, I made a mark. So 6 inches down to here, and then measured 6 inches this way, and then I drew a line. So this was 6 inches. Let me put it in. This was 6 inches down. I put my ruler. Actually, I didn't have a ruler at the time, but so I'm in my craft room. This is my quilter's measuring ruler. Anyway, neither here nor there. So I can measure down 6 inches. So from the top to here is 6 inches. I made a mark going across right here. Then I measured 6 inches down and made a mark going the opposite direction. So once I got my marks, then I said, all right, I've got my 6 inches. I made sure that I was even at the top. So I have, so this is basically a straight edge for me. And I did measured, and then I took my pen, because this was styrofoam, I could actually make a mark going down the middle. When I measured 6 inches from the top down and made my mark, and then I came across and marked that. So what did that do? That gave me 4 4-inch squares, or 6-inch squares, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-inch squares. So 6 by 6 squares. So I measured down. Okay. And I realized the 0 was here because I was using my measuring tape. So here down was 3 inches, and I measured across, found that 1 3-inch mark, and then I measured down another 3 inches, made a mark, and that is the middle of my 6-inch square. So it gave me 4 items that I can plant there in those 6-inch squares. They are, in this case, looks like from 0, okay, because they're always talking about so far on center. So this is like 8 inches from here. However, from here to here is 6 inches. So it's basically 6 inches on center for this particular one. I'll put in, when I pull out my square foot gardening book, I'll tell you what are the vegetables that you can do, 4 of them in a 12-inch square. All right, it'll be in the notes somewhere, maybe right in here. Okay, that, and then I have one in the middle for when I am doing only one plant in the 12 inches, like broccoli, or a head of cabbage. I think you could do 1 per square foot. Okay, that's that one. So 6-inch on center, 4 plants per square foot. The next one, I measured, and I believe it's 3 inches, 4 inches. So I measured 4 inches down, 8 inches down, made my mark, and then 4 inches down this way, and then an additional 4 inches, or 8. So now, when I made my mark, and I drew my lines on those 4 inches, right, and I did 4 inches here, like so, right, and then turned it around, and on my mark for 4 inches, drew again, and then again. Now, I did something else because I didn't feel like measuring down. So I now have 3, 6, 9 squares, right? They're all 4 inches, so you get 3 4-inch squares across on 12 inches. And I said, how am I going to find the middle? Well, that quilter in me said, let me go and make a line from corner to corner, and I did this way, and I did the same thing from the corner of that square to the corner of this square, and I did that, and I did the same thing on each one. So I did it each one going this way, and then I turned it and went the opposite direction on each square. Well, what did that do for me? Well, let me go a little closer. What it did for me is where the squares crossed, that was the middle of that square. And then I poked a hole in it. So, cross, cross, here's my square, and this was the very middle where they met. And I poked a hole in the middle. Now, when I get ready to plant with these, now some people will make holes that are much larger so they can plant the seed itself. For me, right now, all I'm going to do is take a thick pen. I'm going to make these holes larger. Probably use a larger drill bit. But you can do it a couple ways. You can make it large enough so that you can plant the seed, but you always, even if you want to plant the seed, you still have to poke a hole into the soil deep enough that the seed can go in. So for me right now, I'm just setting it up so I can poke a hole into the soil and then lift it up and put the seed. The next one I created is very similar to this one, and this one is 3-inch squares. And with 3-inch squares, I am able to do 12 plants. With the 3-inch square, while I'm thinking again, I'll put some of the plants, a list of the plants up here for you. But I'm thinking carrots, radishes, the smaller radishes, the English breakfast, is it English breakfast? The one that's long and got the white tips. I could even do the new one I tried, which is a watermelon radish, and that's very good. So I can do that. So these are the templates. Let me come back out. So these are the templates for the square foot gardening. Okay, that's what those templates are for. So 12 inches square, I can get 16, 9, 4, or 1. Okay, because these guys are 6 inches apart. 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches. This one is for if I'm only going to plant one plant in that square foot. Okay, so that's your square foot gardener. This is just the blank template. I know that with tomato plants, it's 1 plant per 4 squares. So, but that's that one. All right, now using the 10-inch water pot. Let me go up just a little bit. So that's a 10-inch water pot. And you go, a 10-inch water pot. Yeah, my friend, Homegrown Veg, he turned me on to the 10-inch water pots. I have been watching him for a long time, and he would say the 10-inch pot, but he never said 10-inch water pot. And finally, this year, 2020, he is helping a lot of people who decided they wanted to have a garden, plant veggies, but they didn't have much garden space. And he finally explained that this 10-inch water pot is from a florist. The florists get their flowers in these pots, and you could go to the florist and buy these from your florist for an inexpensive amount. So I went to a local florist and I said, do you have these things called water pots? And she did, and I got a stack. I got a bunch of them from her. So 10-inch water pot, and he grows all kinds of things. So I'll try to remember to put a link to his channel. But he shared a link to a gentleman who made templates for the water pots. So 10-inch square, round. Okay. There are some pots that are 12 inches. So on that site, he also had links for templates for that. So I don't need this anymore. All right, and so, let's see, it's like, do I have too much light? Let me dim the light so you can see, because these are pretty, these are pretty light, so hopefully you can see this. So this is for a 10-inch pot and 55 seeds. I have no idea what I'm going to put in there that gives me 55 seeds other than onion seeds. That's the only one that I can think of that I would put 55 seeds in. But the template comes with 2 sides. So 2 pages, it's a PDF file, and you have basically a right and a left. Well, with those right and lefts, so what I did was you cut off this one right here and cut it around, and so that what happens is that you're going to overlap your pieces. So this time I had styrofoam. So all this white is a lot, isn't it? Okay, let's see. Let's put my pink thing back there. All right, white on white on white. Okay, so this is the styrofoam that I had, and the cutting of the circle is not that good because I couldn't. I finally wound up using a knife. I started with scissors, but I had to use an X-Acto knife. But here's 10-inch pot, 30 seeds. Now, this didn't come like that. It still came like this with the thing there, so I cut it out. And what I used was spray-on glue or the regular rubber cement to glue this on. And if you see a little line right here, this is where I did the overlap of the piece. So I take this and I cut right here on the line. Okay. And I take this, and if you try to put it together, it's weird initially. That shadow is there. So it was really kind of weird. So I took, let's bring some more light up now. And what you do is you go and you find and you go till you get to a point where they match. It's like the circles match right there. Okay, lay it down. So I'm looking, I'm coming, I'm making sure my circle is here and I can go, but it's not, I've gone over too far because these circles aren't there, but I'm matching, and then I go, oops, there it is. Because right here, and when I match them all, okay, and I'm making sure the circles all match, and the circles match at the top, and the circles match at the bottom, and then that's when they are put together easily. So circle matching at the very top, circle matching at the bottom, and see the amount of overlap there. And you can, if you want to tape these together initially or glue them another, and then you can cut off the back part. I just glued them all on. So this is a 10-inch pot, 30 seeds. I haven't made the holes in yet. I'll take my time. I might take a hot nail because this is styrofoam and go through each one of the holes. This is a 10-inch pot. I didn't glue on the amount, so let's see how many that I can do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12 seeds in that one. This is a 10-inch pot, 19 seeds. And here's a 10-inch pot with 37 seeds. And I just tried to find a spot where I can put glue on how many seeds there are that didn't cover up the holes. But I will be taking my time and doing that. Now if you do this on wood, then a drill bit, right, will take care of that. Drill bit might do it on the styrofoam, but it'll make a mess. So I'm just going to figure out a way, and it'll probably be a hot thing. Now, there's one thing I found when I'm planting in the 10-inch pots. I planted some carrots before I had this. I planted some carrots in the 10-inch pot. And we got a heavy rain. And so it hit that dirt and it was just terrible. So I said, what can I do to protect my plants before my seeds before they become plants? And I said, oh, I have some scrap screening in the house. So this is plastic screening. And again, my edges aren't too neat. You know, I just need it to work. And so when I'm planting, I'm putting this screen on top until I see the seedlings coming up. And the seedlings will push this up. It's very lightweight. You know, if you've got something that's even thinner or something that you can use, as long as water can go through. That's the main thing about the screening. Water can go through. And then as I see the seedlings coming up, I can take that off. But it's a protection for the dirt on top, because in these 10-inch pots, they're a little difficult. The same thing happens if you're planting in a grow bag, or if you're planting in the ground. If you're doing seeds, you need to protect them. Now if you're doing seedlings, then it's a little bit better. They're a little stronger and they can handle when it rains. And we just had a major thunderstorm outside, and I wanted to make sure that my plants, the seeds, I planted carrots recently, so they're protected because we put this on top. All right, so if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're going to try this and you're going to do this for yourself, put comments below, or if you've made your own kind of templates, whether it's insulation material, styrofoam, wood, cardboard, I don't know, you know, whatever you've chosen to use, here's a very good way in order to learn how to space your plants so that you don't have to come through and do all that thinning. I hate thinning because it winds up, to me, I'm wasting plants and wasting seeds. So, this is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and I want to thank you for being with me today, and I will see you in the next video.